Hi everyone, my name is Beth and welcome back. And today I want to show you how I start my bunching onions. And I also just want to show you how I start the larger bulb by seed, also larger bulb onions. Um, and for the larger bulb onions, you want to get the long day onions. Um, so like Walla Walla is a long day. The other one I got is a ruby red. And to show you that you can start those from seeds. Also, the large bulb onions I also purchased from Dixondale Farms, and it's a great company. So if you don't want to start your onions by seed, you can order sets from them. So I did order, and for my area, you could put in your zip code or just put in long day onions. And typically it'll show you a map of the United States, and you can kind of figure out where you are at on that map. So in the northern states, it's going to be the long day. In the center states of the United States, you're going to be intermediate day onions. So long day requires between 12 and 14 hours of sunlight, and the intermediate is less. And then the more southern states have the short day onions, where they don't require as long a sunlight as the long day. So just kind of a brief overview on that. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I start my bunching onions. There's a couple different ways you can do it, different containers you can use. So let me go ahead and flip this around. Get a phone call. Okay, so here are the different containers. I started these yesterday, and one thing about your onion packets, the seeds I put in here were packaged for 2022. And from what I understand, the older the onion seed packets, they're not like your tomato seeds where you could store them forever properly and they don't lose germination. Onion seeds are a little bit different. To be honest with you, I've never paid attention to what year package that I planted. So these seed packets that I put in here were from 2022. So I think they're going to be fine anyhow. So that's what this is here. And I did put it in a fairly deep growing box container, which is great, for when I harvest, I could just pull them out. Okay, so the other way is, this is the way I have done quite a bit of my bunching onions, is this is like a half-gallon round container. And with these, I pre-moisten the soil, just like I did in the other container. Pre-moisten the whole thing, let it drain out. And then I just take and spread seed, all over. No particular rhyme or reason to it, just all over. And then I will cover with a little bit more dirt and then use a sprayer to moisten the top. This is one I also did yesterday. So that's another container I have used. You can use these containers. You just got to make sure you have holes in the bottom. And that's fairly deep if you want to do them a little bit earlier. And just make sure you have something underneath to catch the water. You can use solo cups, just giving you different ideas. And then here I have these cells that I have purchased. And these are a little deep. And then these smaller ones, I'm going to use for the larger onions. And typically you wouldn't start until like week 8 or 10 prior to the last frost. I just have this out to show you. And in here it's the ruby red. I'm just going to start a couple in there. But getting back to the bunching onion. So what you're going to do is pre-moisten your soil. And then you're going to go ahead and put a little divot. and go ahead and do it to all. I already put some seed in there. But anyhow, so put a little divot, and then I did put the seeds in a little jar like this, little shot glass. And then you could take a spoon or your fingers, and in each hole, I see how tiny those seeds are. I'm going to put, you could put up to 10 seeds in each hole. So actually, this one will have about 8 seeds in there. And then you cover it up. And this is already pretty moist, so if it's a little dry, you would spray it. And you're going to continue to moisten the soil. And I also just use a regular potting soil in the onions. I did not use a seed starting mix. And it does have a little bit of fertilizer in there, but they're fine. So you want to check them every day. You don't want the seeds to totally dry out. And this is moist enough, I'm not going to water it anymore. So I hope that made sense. You make a little divot hole, and you could put 8 to 10 seeds in that one hole, because the bunching onions can grow in a bunch. So when you're ready to transplant them outside, you're just going to take that whole section out, this whole cell, and plant it in a loose soil. Raised beds are ideal. That's where I plant mine. But you have to make sure it is a loose soil so it has room to grow. And that's it. So one way you could do it is just spread them all. And then I top with a little bit of soil. The seeds are very tiny, so you don't want to bury them like a ½ inch deep, because it just makes it hard for them to germinate. And then the other way is this way, which a lot of farmers do it this way. And you can succession sow. You can also direct sow outside. So anyhow, this is 14 weeks early before the estimated our last day for the frost. And the reason why I started these early, I want to start sowing these or harvesting early. Just so I can add to soups, I can add to salads, and I'm not going to wait. I do have a greenhouse out back, so I'll be moving them out in the greenhouse probably in about a month. And I'll keep showing you the updates on the onions and let you know how they're doing. So hopefully that helped you. In this container, because it was very long, and it's about, I don't know, probably about 5 inches deep, I went ahead and just put the holes and put the 5 to 10 seeds in each hole. So anyhow, and these were the older seeds. Let's see how that works with the germination rate. And these were from 2023 seed package. So anyhow, I'll keep you up to date on how these are growing. And after a while, I will trim them, which I will show you all that when it's time. The other thing I wanted to show you, I went ahead and did an experiment just for myself, really, on my LED grow light and my fluorescent light. The fluorescent light in my laundry room, I used for years. I started everything back there, and I started investing in these grow lights. These are the 45-watt LED. And the reason why I got these, because it's only 4 foot of growing in my laundry room. So once they sprouted, I went ahead and moved them under these lights. And it has just worked out for me. As far as the reviews go, you're going to get, back and forth on it. As far as the legs are a little wobbly. That really doesn't bother me, because once I put them where they are, they're just going to stay there. You can raise and lower it. It does not have an on and off switch, so you do have to unplug it. So that's kind of, not the greatest. But anyhow, you got to do your own research. But the main thing about my experiment was this is a 45-watt LED grow light. And the fluorescent one, I know it has over 4,000 kelvins, with the LEDs, there is no information on kelvins and lumens that I could find. So I guess it's by the wattage. So what I found out is at least 45 watts will germinate your peppers and your tomatoes. And this is all lettuce here. Here is my experiment. This is the LED. And this is what I started under the fluorescent. I started them the January 10th. I have a Craig's Grande Jalapeno, and I use the Ace 55 seeds. They're already getting their second set of leaves, the true leaves. Peppers not yet, but pretty soon. So I am adding some worm casting liquid, a diluted amount when I water once a week, just to give them some extra fertilizer. And so anyhow, did the experiment. They both grew identical. It was really funny. I mean, the sprouts, like if I had two Craig's Grande sprouting the same time, there was two sprouting at the same time over under the fluorescent light. And the peppers, I started January 10th, and they actually sprouted on January 16th. So it took 6 days for them to germinate. And the tomatoes, and this is under both lights, they were identical. The Ace 55 tomato started January 10th, and in 4 days, January 14th, they were sprouting. And they were identical. It was really funny. So just wanted to share that with you guys. The LED does work great. It uses less energy to save money. So just wanted to share that with you. And I think that's it. So I'll keep you posted on how these are growing. And again, I did start these early. Pay attention to the back of your package. Typically, it's 8 to 10 weeks prior to your last frost. But I am moving these out to the greenhouse and wanted to start the green onions, bunching onions early. And then the experiment again over here with the older seeds to see how many will germinate. And another thing I just wanted to show you, which is kind of exciting, we got a pretty good snowfall yesterday. And I just wanted to show you how pretty that is. And I think my last video was winter sowing. And so they are all over there, buried under the snow, which is exactly what you want. And there's the greenhouse. And everything's just waiting for the growing season to start again. So anyhow, just wanted to show you how pretty that was. And all right, so if you like this video and you want to keep following along with the planting that I do, just go ahead and hit the subscribe and hit the like button. And this way it does keep the video circulating for other people to see it. The more likes, the more it stays for people to see. So anyhow, that's about it. And I'm fairly new at doing this, so hopefully the videos do get better. But the main thing is just showing you how to grow things. So, all right. Thanks for joining me, and I will talk to y'all later. All right, bye.